Hello. It's gonna be one of those shitty streams. I didn't have much time to prepare. In fact, all my assets are like gone because my podcast drive is once again corrupted because it's an FTS and Windows. Every time I dual boot into Windows, it corrupts. So that doesn't work. So I was working on something, and then yesterday I woke up and I got news that the Polish host that we've been with for months for continuous uptime had received a letter from both their, I'm just gonna get right into it, from both their upstream Cogent, which is one of the largest ISPs in the entire world. It's basically a tier 1, even though it doesn't technically qualify for a tier 1. They're everywhere. And their data center, Equinix Warsaw in particular, I had both told them that they are to immediately disconnect the Kiwi farms, and they did. And now the other host that we had, which was not in Equinix but did use Cogent as an upstream, has been blocked from the global internet by Cogent. So now if you try to connect to the kiwifarms.net, you probably, depending on where you're at and what your connection is and what your ISP is, you may not be able to connect. You can connect through Tor over ClearNet always, and if you have a VPN, you might be able to find a location. Probably the closer to Poland you use, the more likely you are to find a connection to it. Basically, the tier 1 ISP has once again decided to block the Kiwi farms. This is the backbone of the internet, one of the most important companies in the entire world. A 25-year company founded by what's his name? Some fucking asshole. It was I don't know, but it's been around since 1999. And I know for a fact that the CEO of this company is personally trying to shut down the site. Because when Zayo dropped us over a year ago now, I reached out to one of the only other ISPs at my data center to try and get a connection. And the ISP that I was told is basically completely unscrupulous, without morals, was one of the most annoying, aggressive advertisers in the industry. Had a company that had been removed from Aaron, or reprimanded by Aaron, because they had been using Whois information to send out unsolicited marketing emails, had been booted from tech conventions because they were using aggressive marketing within the convention space. Basically one of the worst ISPs out there. I contacted them thinking, surely such a wretched, terrible company will allow the Kiwi farms on their network. The marketing guy was all about it. And after a week of talking to him, he basically came back and said, I don't know what the issue is, but the CEO is directly shutting down this deal. And when I try to figure out what's happening, the higher ups and management basically just tell me, don't even look into it. Don't ask questions. Don't do anything. So a full year later, after enjoying a good amount of uptime through an ISP that really doesn't give a fuck, suddenly Cogent is sending out emails demanding that the Kiwi farms be taken down, citing specific URLs that it alleges are child pornography and revenge pornography. The video that they are alleging is child pornography is a 15-year-old watching a Chris Chan video that he uploaded to the forum and also to YouTube. It's still available on YouTube. But for some reason, I don't know if you remember the Washington Post article, the guy named Clay, his real name is Sean. He sends in like these complaints on behalf of Liz Fong Jones now, because I guess the other trannies have been fired, and now the man that's not like a tranny is the only one left in his Discord that's still doing this shit for him. He has like whittled down his reports, because I've seen them over time, to include, oh my god, they said this, and then they said this, and then they said this, and then also there's this nudity on the site. And now it's just like a list, like this is Anisa Joma's tits, this is some retarded woman's tits that she posted voluntarily to the internet, here's a fat kid watching a shock video, this is child pornography. And that's what he says, and the ISPs will use that as justification to censor the internet. So the situation now is that Cogent has blocked for the first time, because usually what they do is they I've announced my IPs, but because Liz Fong Jones is suing for those IPs in Australia, I don't use them anymore, and also because they have been blocked so thoroughly, there's no point. But this is the first time I've seen other people's IPs being blocked instead of my own. There's one of the Polish companies that's still left. They're the only IP that's for the A records, and if you try to connect and your route would have to go through Cogent, it's getting blocked. And that's the first time that's happened to somebody else's IP space after a threat from Cogent. So Cogent has once again expanded the realm of censorship. It's no longer, if 1776 Solutions is broadcasting an IP address through your space, we'll block those IPs from being broadcasted. It's now, if you're hosting the Kiwi farms on your IP space, we will directly and personally intervene and block you, and we'll also complain to your data center and get your data center to potentially throw you out from their space, like physically remove your hardware and send it back to you. So needless to say, if you are listening and you are in the industry and you have deals with Cogent, if you're not in a position to cancel, I would ask that you complain to whomever, your sales rep, your manager. You have a whole NOC escalation chain. Find the highest person on your escalation chain and start complaining. And if they say, well, it's the Kiwi farms, blah, 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 just say, you don't give a fuck. And if you do have the option to change hosts. Like the only tier 1 ISP that I know of that is not actively fucking with the Kiwi farms is NTT Global or Entity North America. It's a Japanese the Japanese part of it is apparently in the Asia Pacific region, and China. They will block us, but NTT Global does not. But Hurricane Electric's blocked us. Cogent's blocked us. Cogent's super aggressive. Hurricane Electric doesn't let me broadcast directly, but it will transfer between different hosts. So Hurricane is like, doesn't want anything to do with us, but they will they won't actively go out of their way to block black holes like Cogent will. And in the past, Lumen and Layer 3, same company, they've also done it. It's just like, it's literally crazy because once again, like you would think, if there was an urgent issue with network abuse or some kind of illegal content, and I posted on this thread every post that is being reported as illegal content, and you can go through it yourself. Now I've actually censored it. I've made a note for all these posts just out of curiosity to see what happens, what they use to justify censorship. There's now a posting. This post is censored because of tier 1 ISPs. I will work on this system over time to see what happens, but that's what you'll get finding those. And they're just to go over them real quick so you know what's happening. It breaks down into 4 categories. Commercial pornography. This is all Anisa Doma. This is not revenge pornography. She sells these. I'm completely within my right to criticize this. Voluntary pornography, which is Elaine Miller, who carved my names into her thighs and published that. And then Chris Chan fucking a blow-up doll was posted by Chris directly onto his own Twitter, and that was archived. And Sean thinks that is revenge pornography for some reason, and Cogent seems to agree. And then there are leaks. So there was the Rooster Teeth leaks where the guy cheating on his wife had his nudes leaked by his wife, which became a massive controversy. That's also revenge pornography, apparently. Then there is perhaps arguably the only actual revenge pornography, which is where in the Ass Napkins thread, where AIDS Zero and Idiot had their breakup in public, and so he just started dumping nudes of her one at a time in the thread to say like, don't stop talking about me, and that became like an issue in the courts, but I never received a court order to take down anything calling it revenge pornography. So my position has always been I'm not going to censor anything that I don't get a court order to remove. But apparently Cogent has looked into this matter, has taken it very seriously, and has came to the determination that is revenge pornography. So we don't really need a court system because let me find a picture of him actually. This guy, David Schaefer, who is the CEO and founder of Cogent. This guy actually is a court system himself. He has fully reviewed the context of this. He has reviewed all possible options about what could be done. And David Schaefer has come to the determination by himself that we don't need to actually wait for any kind of actual due process. He's made the determination on his own, and we can streamline this whole courts thing by just asking him what he thinks. So, and then there is the shoe on head stuff, which was like her Snapchat got leaked. This actually isn't even visible without an account, so I don't know. I guess theoretically having any access to anything that anybody on the internet does not want you to have access to is in itself, according to David Schaefer and his infallible process of considerations for illegal content, is not allowed. And then finally, the thing that this guy just keeps, like the fucking Sean guy just keeps reporting this as child pornography. It is on fucking YouTube. I'll just show you what it is. Let's see. Oh, I'm not logged in. So, oh, I am logged in. Just so the button doesn't show up because it's broken. Okay, whatever. It's literally just a YouTube video of him, like, you know, the Julie video where A-Log watches Christian fuck a blow up doll and he goes, Julie. It's the exact same thing posted in 2023. It's on fucking YouTube. You can go find it. But that's child pornography, according to David Schaefer and his infallible process of looking at internet content and determining on himself without any kind of court order that that's what needs to be done. So I've just blocked all that shit and I want to see what happens. And what happens is that host team still dropped us, even though I sent them an email saying like, look, everything in this email that Equinix and Cogent are complaining about is blocked. So if that's their issue, then certainly the issue is now resolved. And they didn't reply. They did drop the connection, and I haven't heard back. So I've actually tried reaching out to Cogent. Cogent doesn't reply to my emails. This is the most maddening thing of all. Like, this would, like, if I was not such a stoic hero, such a glorious person, I would fucking lose my mind, because there's something so insidious, so indescribably malicious and maddening, and having all this shit happen and play out completely behind closed doors. For fucking years, this has been going on, where I wake up and some shit happened that I had no conversation in without my knowledge, which was apparently being discussed for days or weeks before it happened, and I just wake up and I get the email that I'm fucked. With Cloudflare in particular, I didn't even get an email. I did not get an email from fucking anybody about what happened until I got an email a week later saying, here's the transfer codes for your domains. So Matthew Prince wrote 2 articles about my website, and the faggot didn't have the audacity to ask me for input on either of them. It's like, imagine, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, imagine that there are thousands of people talking about you around the world, writing articles about you, writing about what you do for a living, and you have no conversation with any of that. And the few people who do ask for your opinion are fucking journalists who are going to take, 5 paragraphs of you eloquently executing your rationality and what your motives are and how you feel about things, and then pulling out one line to try and make you look like a murderer who just goes around with an axe butchering trannies all fucking day. Like it's so bizarre to and this is definitely part of like why because Liz Fong Jones is a rapist who's been credibly accused of rape. I think that loss of agency and not having like control over what's happening around you is like sexually arousing to Liz, like because Liz is sexually attracted to like BDSM power play shit and rape. I think that his idea is like, I can make it so that this guy doesn't have control over like fundamental rights and to free expression on the internet, and that's like a dick hardening. Well, his dick is cut off. Unfortunately, Liz Fong Jones's penis was surgically removed, and there are blog posts explaining how much pain he's in when he has to dilate the ever-closing flesh hole that he's created for himself. But if he did have a penis, it would swell with blood and arousal for the agency plays that he tries to go through by censoring shit from the internet. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's genuinely fucking maddening that just like how often it always plays out like this too. It's always some big ass company that makes billions of dollars a year is going to make a decision that impacts tens of thousands of people, and they're not even going to talk to you about it until they pull the plug. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, you might get a glimpse at some of that backroom conversation that's happening. But they don't even, that's an accident. If you get a glimpse of what they're actually saying or what they're complaining about, that's not intentional. They didn't intend for that to happen. Exactly like with Zayo. Blake Willis, a friend of Liz Fong Jones in Paris, who used to work for Zayo but no longer does for some reason, can't imagine why, decided to unilaterally lodge through the complaint department as a 20-year senior network architect in the company to have me removed. And the fact that I was CC'd into these emails where he was outlining that, look, they have a Wikipedia page that says they're a bad site, so we got to remove them from our network, right? That was an accident. I wasn't supposed to actually see that. I don't know. I don't mean to go on about it for too long, but I have to vent like at some point. So as far as like moving forward, it's just like I can just keep finding new shit constantly. Because my hope is that I'm just going to keep doing this, and they're going to have to keep fucking with other companies over and over again. And they're going to have to pay, thousands of dollars a month for an entire abuse department dedicated to finding the Kiwi farms and handling complaints about them. I'm just going to do that forever. Because there's still nothing stopping me from just launch. Because these VPS things are instant deploy. I just go to a random website, I pay $10 in Bitcoin, and then I have a VPS. You know what I do? I install a proxy, a TCP proxy that doesn't have to have certificates. It doesn't have to have anything installed onto it besides HA proxy. And then I do a TCP proxy to my actual servers, which are in different data centers. And then they actually unwrap the sessions and shit for me. And that way, the only servers that they know about are like the front ends that I can just replace on a moment's notice too. And I can just keep doing this literally forever. I can do this like it takes the time that even if the company does not want me on their service, the time that it takes for them to find out that my A records have changed, send in a complaint, have the abuse department receive the complaint, and then have the NOC department action the complaint and censor the content is like a full day. And I can do this for $20 on basically anywhere, and it takes me literally less than like 10 minutes to set it up. Like if the deployment is really streamlined, I can just launch a VPS with an SSH key, log in, install HA proxy, and point it at the right server. Literally less than 10 minutes, and it just works. I can do this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Wow, I finally figured it out. Well, my dude. See, this is the thing. Like, people who are like, oh, you should just like use fast flux, so you should just like be a nuisance and just like constantly jump between hosts forever. Like, the issue with that is that I shouldn't have to, because my website's legal, and I'm going to press the issue as much as I possibly can. I'm going to dig my fingers into Cogent's eyes forever, because I have a right to use the internet because my content is legal. The tactic that I employ of digging my fucking fingers into Cogent's eyes is not that I just don't know the alternative is that I could just use fast flux or some shit, or I could just use to demand people use Tor to connect to the site. It's that I have a right to use the internet and host legal materials, and any fucking buddy who is going to get in my way of doing that will be named and shamed. I will personally pull up the picture of the man responsible for this, and I will show the world that this is David Schaefer. He's a 25-year veteran of the industry, and he's a fucking insipid coward who's trying to censor the internet because for some reason, despite being a humble ISP provider, he seems to think that he's judge, jury, and executioner, which makes him a faggot, and he should not be in that position of power. He should be forced to sell his shares. He should be in poverty. He should be sucking dick on the street to make ends meet. I'm not lost as to how I can just like constantly change A records or whatever the fuck. Like, I understand that's how that works. There's a point to digging in as hard as possible because I'm in the fucking right, and I will prove that I'm in the right no matter how long it takes. And Liz Fong Jones will one day go to fucking jail, go to tranny prison where all the trannies belong, because they are fucking sex pests. All right, anyways. David S877 for 25 says, I am reminded of an ancient Chinese saying, this too shall pass. I don't think that's Chinese, but I don't know, man. I could use a lot more passing right the fuck now. I'm so sick of it, man. But it's like, I don't know. Every time like anything happens, Liz Fong Jones puts out like this like ingratiating statement about how fucking awesome he is and how he loves to eat out his own like infected minge. And it's like, damn, you really are like objective evil. You are like a terrible person. And my fight to keep information about you being a rapist on the internet is completely and totally justified in every way, shape, and form. And it keeps me going. Russell T. Shackleford for 5 says, don't let recharges on the forum get you down. We internet OGs just before the towers fell. Circa 99. Trust you to do what's best for the site. Dude, I'm so fucking over it. I'm so fucking done with retards. I'm so fucking sick of all the retards from the ANA boards who just use the site to bullshit about fucking politics. God, getting 9,000 messages. That's fucking... sorry, Russell. Yeah, the NH people fucking been around for 1 year. Like, oh, this is it. This is the fuck. It's fucking Jover, man. It's fucking Jover. We're not gonna do anything. No. Of course not. We don't have jobs. We can't complain to our, I don't work and I don't do anything for a living, so I can't like complain. I can't see if I have Cogent as a business partner, then like ice them out or anything because they don't do anything. I'm just gonna say it's Jover, and then if the site goes down, I'm gonna find some other website to migrate to, and then I'm gonna shit that one up and talk about politics until that one's also Jover. And I'm just gonna do that until everything's ruined. That's like the ANH neighbor. That's how they work. They don't give a fuck about any kind of community. They joined it 6 months ago. They think they already know absolutely fucking everything, and they only use the site as like a comment section on Fox News. It's bullshit.